Okay, that's the most important thing. In this case, 3 mines is enough. After that, you can say you have to just play according to the map. There's the center mine, of course, as well, and then later he just has to go to that one. Well, Tit has one here and one here, but this is fine. British versus French. I missed the great start here. It looks like Roby is straight going for ATP, so it must be a 200 wood start for France, which means that he's going to go for some wood, get the house, and get the TP in straight away. It's like usually the best build if you start with these crates. Usually if you don't have a 200 wood start, you start with a market. And for the Brit, by the way, he's going to miss the first XP, but that's not really, he can... I could have perhaps taken this TP, let's see what happens actually. Well, the reason that he takes this TP is because it's way harder for the British to get it down later on. If he takes this one, he gets the XP pass before it looks like, yes, he would get the first one, but then again, it's in a straight path from Tit towards Roby's base, which means that he is more likely to lose his TP. So that's why he took that one. Tit is going for 2 houses. Some people, I believe, he was a 200 wood start, which means that the British guy has a 300 wood start. Some people just prefer to go for TP as well, chop a little bit of wood and make 1 house. I actually think it can be really okay. Or sometimes even just chopping a little bit and making 3 houses. The idea to that is just to get like as much use out of your crates. But then again, 2 houses will mean that he can age up as fast as possible because he doesn't have to invest any time in gathering more or building something extra. Tit is going to find 80 food here, and Blackstar has also found 80 food somewhere on the left side. And he is running to the treasure of Tit, so this will be a little bit of a contest. Let's see. Tit will get it down, but Blackstar will take it because he already was close to treasure. I believe his scout already was on the left side here, so probably in line of sight. The treasure that is, so he knew that Tit was already working on it. We see a very early herding from Blackstar. I'm quite surprised about this. Usually you want to like age up with the first herd so you can get your age up time as fast as possible, as early as possible. Maybe work on 1 hunt already, but he is already working on this one, probably not scouting this one, so he doesn't know that there's another one available. As you see, Tit is also working on the one in the back. Has to work a little bit more on the there he goes. Although he's herding it this way, not that way, but probably going to correct that later. He also scouted this hunt, so he knows he has enough close by to mess up. What can we expect here? British versus French. It's quite a traditional matchup. We have seen the second age play from British, the continued second age play. So, for example, Musk has a few variations to that, and taking map control and then adding longbows when the French guy is going to age up. However, at some point the British is going to run out of resources after making such an army, and the French guy is having a tech advantage. So because of that, we have seen also a few variations, previous tournaments as well, which is the kind of semi-FF from British. So what you do basically is you get your economy rolling, you don't make that many units, usually a few pike or musk just to defend raids, and that way you will have a decent economy while aging up, and if you time it decently around 9 minutes or so, you will be able to hold off with, let's say, longbow pike early on and then later mixing in Huss and goons. But I'm curious what Tit will do here. No indication yet. Market going up pretty standard. Blackstar also should have his markets somewhere. There it is. See that these guys put their markets on the outsides of their base just to get some more line of sight. In this case, covering the back door here, and the Blackstar covering this path. Which means that Tit, to go around it, he's now scouting the market, would have to go all the way around here if he wants to raid Blackstar without being noticed. Blackstar now also working on this hunt, as you see, and Tit as well working on the other hunt. There are 2 forward villages, so we have no semi-FF here, like no stable at home probably. Looks like a little bit of an aggressive play. Of course, he does have the trading post, so he has a lot of shipments rolling in. It's going to be 1 Rex. Is it going to be a stable or a Rex with it? Tit is scouting his base, so he knows that there's forward wood on the floor, which is just a standard age up. Likewise, Tit is going for a tower, but the tower is being put down in a very defensive spot here. Oh, actually, maybe Blackstar is kind of trying to trick Tit, because Tit is of course scouting his base, so he didn't see a stable or a wreck, so he's now asking himself, like, where is Blackstar's base? So obviously he goes to the center of the map to try to find out if there's any rush coming, as you see here. And he will be able to take a treasure from Blackstar, I think, if he has a shot. He doesn't. Yeah, he has, and he's right on time here. But Blackstar is only going for 1 Rex right now, which means that it's actually not a rush. It's just... Oh, look at this. Tit was really fast with his stable. Will he get... No, Blackstar has his Muscout on time. He can't really engage this. He was trying to go for the villagers here. Of course, his Hussars were actually pretty fast. But then again, Musketeers train faster, which means that if Blackstar is not making a mistake, he should have his Musketeers on time. What you see here is Tit immediately goes for a raid. But Blackstar, kind of expecting this, seeing the Huss running to the right side, is already going back with his Musketeers to greet them here at his base. Perfect anticipation there. And now there's 700 wood second card. Let me change the shipments right away. Pretty standard here, but this means that Blackstar is still on 1. Okay, there comes the second Rex. Meanwhile, his scout is here. He has scouted the stable. I'm not sure if he scouted the Rex from Tit. Although you can kind of expect it. I mean, Tit scouted 1 Rex. He doesn't know about the second yet. But he is very likely to add a Rex to at least make, let's say, a few musks to be safe versus any Musketeer push. He might go again in here to scout the forward base and maybe find out if there's going to be another building or not. He will get 1 or... No, he won't. Nice save by Blackstar. And you see he's trying again to poke in at the front, but Blackstar nicely has left the Musketeers from his 2nd or 3rd batch at his forward Rex to make sure that his 2 villagers are not left unprotected there, because he knew that he kind of had enough at home with the Musketeers and of course the TC fire. Stable going down as well, and he is making some more Musketeers. It could still be some sort of semi build with just a 700 coin afterwards and only making a few musks to kind of trick Tit into making his stuff at home, and of course buying himself some time. We have to see what happens when the 700 coin is coming, if he's gonna mess with that or if he's gonna choose to go for an A-job. The Musketeer is still in his base, and Tit is going for another raid plus some more Musketeers, as you see now. He is also bringing in this herd here. Could perhaps be a little bit more active with it. And Blackstar shipped 700 food. That's quite interesting because he has not that many villas on the coin, but he redistributed now. He now has 9 villas on coin, which should be enough. So that means he's definitely going for mass, as you see here, 2 Rex mass. And this time Tit is taking the path around the market, which means that Blackstar won't be able to find out the raid. By the way, keep in mind that the first time Tit went to the right side here, Blackstar already knew he was going that way from the line of sight from his base. So Tit just wanted to get straight into his base, and that's why he walked past the market, because it doesn't matter. In this case, he wants to come in unnoticed, and that's why he takes the long route. We see that Tit is going to get sieged, the tower is going to get sieged here, but the Hussars won't do anything because Blackstar's Hussars will be out on time. He will take down the tower. Titstar has not enough Musketeers yet to deal with this. He is only on 1 Rex, keep in mind. Blackstar is on 2. So actually Blackstar chooses to only add a few Hussars to defend versus the raids because they are way more mobile. So he can send every Musketeer, and probably the ones from his base, yes, to Tit's front. Even sending 8 crossbowmen, but they have to walk a little bit. There comes the Minuteman from Tit Town Center Fire. He has 2 Hussars to snare. He has a hero which can snare as well, and a few Musketeers. So this can be a decent trade for him. But Blackstar doing a very good job microing his way out of this, so that he doesn't get snared by the Hussars while being in range with the Musketeers. 4 more Hussars coming from the back though, and they will be able to do quite a good job snaring. However, Blackstar putting some Musketeers in melee, most effective way to deal with Hussars of course, and Tit not really microing his Hussars back from the Musketeers there. He could have gotten a little bit of a better trade, I feel. And I would really like to see him putting his hero in melee mode, because it would take up so many shots while the other units in the back can deal damage. We see a big batch of reinforcement coming from Blackstar, of course, being on the 2 Rex, using the 700 food to mass more. And Tit only on 1 Rex still, so he has not really... He has actually scouted the 2 Rex. I'm quite surprised he's not adding another Rex himself, but maybe he has a 6 Musketeer shipment on the way, we don't know. He is really close to losing all his units here. Very strong push by Blackstar. And there we have 6 Musketeers on the way, but is it enough or is it too late? Maybe something is popping out. Keep in mind we are fighting near the reinforcements of Tit. And it looks like Blackstar will have the upper hand in this fight here. A few villages going down, however Tit is still in the lead, economic lead. And Blackstar is now on top of his military production. which means that anything coming out will get snared right away, as we are probably about to see here. They will escape, but the Hussars will take care of that. No, not yet. The Hussars might go for a raid. The Hussars are... not sure what they're doing. Anyway, you see that Tit is trying to poke a little bit on the sides while not fully engaging. However, Blackstar immediately puts half his army on that. I like this a lot. Let the rest siege. You don't need everything to chase down 4 or 5 musks. And now the Hussars will take them out, I think. With a little bit of micro, this can work fine. You see Tit putting a melee, Black putting some low HP ones back. And actually both micro by both, because Tit was retasking the musketeers. Blackstar putting low HP Hussar to the back. And takes the win here. What we see here is that Blackstar, I'm not sure if it was part of the mind games, like putting down 1 Rex and then a quite late 2nd Rex, because you saw that Tit was only seeing the one, he only scouted 1 Rex after his initial raid, and Blackstar made sure that he got his economy and his TP, of course, his steel traps. I have to assume, I didn't check it, but I can't see it. Anyway, he must have steel traps. And then just added the 2nd Rex and the stable later on. But Tit might think that Blackstar maybe was going for an A-drop or something, because he was adding a Rex quite late. And not only that, he was also just adding 1 Rex and not 2 Rexes. And while you can hold with Hussars for a little bit, for example with a Minuteman pop and raiding to buy you some time, you can't hold in the long run, because you just trade like way too cost ineffective. So you either have to go for, let's say, an A-job and buy some time, or you just have to add Rexes yourself and either make Musketeers or make Longbowman as the counter or something like that. But holding versus 2 Rex spam with just 1 Rex and 1 stable is not something you can do for a long time here. So well played by both. Blackstar, well played by Blackstar. He took this series, this game, being up 1-0 in this best of 7. Quick look at the post game. You see that he gathered most resources. Also, by the way, I want to point out that his herding was really, really good. You see that he had like 2 or 3 herds around his TC, while Tit had his 3rd hunt quite far away, and the 2nd herd was a little bit in the back, which means that it is a lot of walking time, and British has a lot of villagers, and all the villagers walking is not gathering, so that is going to matter a lot in the resources. You see a little bit of these slowing down whenever he has to move. It's going to be a little bit less. Of course, also these are the crates, and Blackstar shipped 700 wood, he shipped 700 food again. And there's a story also in the military unit count, like he's just way ahead. Tit went for a little bit of an economic play, having more villagers. But yeah, if you don't have the units to defend your base, you won't be able to make use of that. So, going into the second game, Thar Desert, which means that Blackstar has to pick first. Okay, Roby locked in Dutch. Tit played British, so he can't play British again. It's a best of 7, so after 4 games the civs will reset and then he can play British again. So he has to pick something else. Knowing Tit with the civs, I think it's going to be mostly British, India, France. What was the other one? So I think he might go for India here. Of course, Thar Desert is a map with not that much resources. Actually, there are decent resources, but they are all far out on the map, and especially towards the middle, not behind or on the sides of your base, which means that an aggressive civilization has an edge here. They can take map control. And that's also why Blackstar, not also, another way of playing it is going for a civilization that doesn't need that much food. For example, the Dutch. Also in case for India, by the way, because their villages cost wood. But anyway, the Dutch can really turtle in their base, rely on their banks, only have like 1-2 herds, and then counter push from the 3rd age. So that's probably why he chooses Dutch on this map. Tit is putting in some thought here for what he will use to counter. Okay, we have a Dutch mirror coming up. Interesting. I think we haven't seen a Dutch mirror so far, even though Dutch is a very good civ. It's been used quite a bit in this tournament, of course, but I'm not sure everyone feels as comfortable going into a mirror matchup, especially versus someone like Blackstar. But nonetheless, Tit is going for it. And yeah, on this map, I think Dutch is a really good choice. He probably feels that his India might not be the best versus, let's say, a well-defended microed Dutch. So goes for Dutch instead. Actually, this map spawns quite a bit different from last time. Because there's a little bit of a herd on the side here. Usually it's more like in this spot, but then again, like for example, as you see here, Blackstar 3 up front. Anyway, yeah, this is fine, good to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Dutch mirror we have here. Like I said, haven't seen that much of it. I think actually that, hold on, TV Total gave me an interesting cue later on. Unit ticker, what was the grading start? There it is. So it was a 200 wood start. You see that Tit is leaving the 100 wood on the floor, or actually most of it. I think Blackstar is done the same, actually perfectly 100 wood on the floor. The thing is there, you don't need the second 100 wood grade here, so you just want to make sure that you get your food and coin as fast as possible. And you can pick it up later on when you're aging up to make your bank. The faster you age up, the faster you have access to your H2 shipments, which will of course be better in this case. Quickly looking at the treasures, Blackstar already found himself an 85 wood treasure here. Losing quite a bit of HP on his hero though. He also, oh wait, I see he also took down the 55 coins, so he's probably microing without the crack shot at first. In the meantime, what do we have left here? There's a 90 wood treasure where Tit is walking towards. I think his envoy scouted that. So I hope he will get it, so it will even up the wood count here. Of course, wood is really, really good here because your banks cost wood, and wood is a slow resource to get. So yeah, any wood treasure you can get, really valuable. Blackstar is going to work on this second treasure, 60 food. He's quite low HP, Mr. Z guy, but with a bit of micro, I think he can get it. Although he prefers to. Oh, actually, he probably scouted it with his envoy as well, so he wants to try to steal it from Tit. Will he be in time? It's going to be really, really close. Tit is now seeing him in line of sight, and I think he will be on time. The question is, will he be able to? I think Tit has it. Oh, Blackstar got it. Okay, nice, good job. And running away even. He's not even getting snared by Tit's hero. Okay, so there he gets 165 wood. That's crazy. 75, sorry. But that's crazy, man. That's like less like half his bank already. So Tit is not happy with that, I think. What has Tit? Only 30 XP and a little bit of coin. And what we see, by the way, is an interesting change here. Blackstar is going for the 14 vil age up, while Tit has gone for the 15 vil age up. The 15 is a little bit of a standard thing. Let's say, like usually you go 15 because you make sure you have no idle time. Especially with the crate that you can't use, in this case the wood crate. However, We've seen more 14th A jobs lately because actually if you do a good job at herding and macroing, you can get a 14th A job in there with maybe like 10 seconds idle time, which is usually really worth it because you will age up faster and have your second bank faster. And of course other options as well. Blackstar already has his bank up. That is because of the 175 wood he had from the treasures. Tit is still working on this. By the way, he does have a wood treasure in his base, which he might grab later on. So in this matchup, what can we expect? There we have the bank going up with 5 vills even. He wants to get that up as soon as possible, I guess. Also keep in mind, he was a little bit late with the bank. And the faster you get your bank up, even though it's not the most effective building time because it doesn't add as much building seconds per vill after the first two. Or first actually, you do get your bank up fast, and that means that Tit has his XP right now. Because if his bank would be up later, he wouldn't be able to ship his 700 wood right away. And now he should be. We see that Blackstar is already working on his second bank. I was about to say what can we expect in this matchup. I don't think either player is going to be really aggressive just because of how the civilization works. And as you see here, both of them have already herded one herd in their base. Blackstar really good job here, working on his second already. Tit not working on the second herd yet. But yeah, it's probably going to be bank boom, and then it can, like usually we have a stable start just to raid a little bit or defend some raids, and because you're going to need royalties anyway. Maybe one of them is going to deviate with, let's say, a Rex start and then some pikemen. Nothing yet. We see that the 700 wood from Tit is coming in only now. This is 15 seconds later. This is of course also because he aged up a little bit later. The XP is what I said that you get anyway with the bank, so that doesn't matter. But because Blackstar aged up faster, and of course a little bit of treasure advantage as well, you see that he has now almost 3 banks working on his fourth, while Tit has 2 banks working on his third. Blackstar has the market. This is a little trick you can do where he just has a few villagers on coin just to make sure that he can produce villagers while the rest is on food. And then again in your market you can buy 100 wood, so you will be able to throw down your 4th bank right away and make 1 house, and then your bank wagon is on the way, which means that you have 5 banks at around 6 minutes, as we will see in a second. Oh, there the bank comes, building straight away. Tit is scouting everything nicely with his envoy, but then again so is Roby. And you see that Tit is like a little bit behind on this. He does also go for the 4th bank and the 5th bank on the way as well. So I like that he's going for the same strat. I mean, he has the same eco then. However, his market is a little bit later, so I believe the setup for Blackstar will be a little bit better here. You see that he already has placer mines on the way. Plus, Tit was gathering the wood, while Blackstar smartly was gathering coin and trading it in the market. You have to keep in mind gathering wood is the slowest resource, which means that you will gather it slower than the rest. Also, I believe Dutch has a little bit of a coin bonus, so they will gather coin faster than other civilizations. So it's way better to then just get a market down and of course also the XP and trade 100 coin, 125 coin for 100 wood. However, considering that Blackstar had so much in wood treasures, I have to say Tit did a good job in making sure that he got his macro correct here and making 5 banks as well as the market. Of course, both of them are popped. It is a very tight build, which means that both of them will have to send 600 wood, as you see also in the shipment tab here. And by the way, now you see here that text completed. Blackstar has the coin upgrade. Tit has the food upgrade. I actually like the food upgrade a little bit more because you have more villagers on food because all your banks are doing the gold income here. And Blackstar is aging up. Tit will be aging anytime soon. And as you see here, 7 minutes, you have like 5 banks, market, Rex on the way, or a stable. Let's see, nothing yet here. Oh wait, here we have it. Double Rex on the side, which is not scouted by Tit. Tit is herding this hunt here on the left. I'm not sure why I flare, because of course I was putting my screen there and Wicked is not with me. But it's going to be a little bit of a surprise, and we have to see what's going to happen here. Is he going to surprise Tit, for example, by shipping 9 Reuters and 7 Reuters perhaps and making only skirms, winning the skirm war? Or is he perhaps going for halberdiers and skirms? We'll see. Tit is going for the very standard 1 Rex start, 1 stable start, and the 1 Rex is scouted for sure. I'm not sure if the second stable, the stable is scouted. And what we see here is Tit's scout is still in the base. Right now it's moving. I like that a lot because he has to find out what Blackstar is doing. He sees now there's no military building. So that can either indicate one of 2 things. First of all, I can indicate the 3rd thing. Blackstar is late and off point, but that's not likely. Second thing, is he going for some age up, fourth age up or something, and going from there? Or is he hiding some Rexes somewhere on the map? And that's why he's also scouting with his hero here to find out what is the case here. By now he's pretty sure nothing is in his base, so even his envoy is going on the map to find out what's going on. And there we have 10 skirms from Blackstar. It's a little bit of a risky move. Oh, he's going to snare the Veil with his hero, so that he can make sure that his skirms will take it down. By now, Tit knows what's coming here. And here you have to wonder like what Tit is going to do. He's probably making 5 Rorters as his, well, 1 Rorter, okay, but as his first batch. But now that he's his 10 skirms, he kind of has to, oh, he's going to lose a second Veil. A third Veil actually, that's a little bit sloppy, but he kind of has to know what's coming here. 10 skirms means 2 Rexes. So is he going for Hussars now because he has the stable? If he goes for, let's say, Hussar skirms, he will be able to take down, of course, a mass skirm. But then again, Blackstar, in anticipation of this, already threw down the stable, so he will have his Reuter on the way in case Tit is going to go for Hussars. Tit is going to try to use his Reuters, but you see that they will get picked up by Blackstar, which is kind of indicating to me that Blackstar might have Hussars on the way rather than Reuters. Of course, Hussars can work as anti-cav, kind of pseudo-anti-cav, just by blocking cav as well. But then again, if there's no cav from your opponent and you take down the Reuters, the Hussars will do really, really good in taking down the skirms. So yeah, look at this skirm as 2 Rex, that's the problem. You have to, Blackstar even shipped 8 skirm, they will be merging with the rest of his army. Tit now trying to buy time to go for a raid. The only problem is it's not that effective versus Dutch, and what will Blackstar do? Just push into his base, and if the Reuters come in, he can just hide in his town center for just a little bit, doesn't matter. We have there the Huss switch from Tit, I like that. I hope he's also going to ship 4 Hussars, because he's really going to need it. He's on 1 Rex, while Roby is on 2 Rexes, so you see that even despite there's the 8 skirm shipment, Roby will be able to, Roby is Blackstar now, will be able to outmass outmass Tit in the skirm count. It's kind of let's say a change in the standard play, because Tit was doing the standard play with the Rex and the stable. And Blackstar thought like, okay, I can get away with just making skirms at first and then adding in my Rorter, as you see here from the stable. And that means that I will have the skirm count, so I will be able to poke and keep him idle. Let's see, there's the 4 Hussars I was talking about, the veteran upgrade as well, Minutemen coming in also, and these are 8 Hussars or 9 Hussars doing good job tanking. Can he take out the Reuters on time? It looks like he's focusing down the Reuters with his skirms. Even the Reuters not being moved will be taken down by the Hussars as well. Will Blackstar be able to micro his way out of this? The Minutemen doing a lot of damage in the back as well. And the Hussars keep snaring while everything here is dealing damage. 5 more Reuters coming in, but a little bit from a bad angle, taken down by TC fire. It looks like, why am I just going to go back? Okay, it looks like Blackstar is able to just, with good micro and of course the heavy skirm mass, is able to take down the Hussar switch from Tit. And now the question is Blackstar going into his own Hussar switch, because there's almost no Reuter left. 4 more Hussars joining the battle here, and there's only 3 Reuters. And more skirms on the way. Is Tit able to take down the Reuters before they will take down their Hussars? He is focusing down the Reuters. There's 2 left, only 2 left, 1 left. And there's no more Reuter for Blackstar. Blackstar is just microing his heart out here. Just making small groups, as you see, not over damaging, taking down 2 Hussars at the same time, not putting every skirm on 1 Hussar and then throwing away, kind of like over damaging the Hussars there. But he is able to clean it up just by the sheer mass of skirms, and now he has his own 4 Hussars on the way, not upgraded though. A little bit of a skirm rate, I really like that actually. He knows that this is the next hunt for Tit, and Tit was not really doing the best job in herding this early on. So just sending 2 skirms to kind of idle the herd for Tit. And now you see that Tit is really pressured for food. He has no food eco. And he has no answer with the 4 Huss plus the 5 Huss, or 4 Huss, what is it? 4 Huss mate from Blackstar. And now there's no Reuters. He shipped his, what did he ship? Yeah, he shipped 9, wait. He shipped, it's not working anymore. Yeah, I think he shipped 7 skirms, but I can't change this anymore. I think he shipped 7 skirms. This is not, it's bugged or something. It's not going on to the right side. Anyway, 1G there from both. Maybe Tit not the most happy with how the game went. I don't know. At this point in the game, around 12 minutes, we see that both of these players are going to other herds on the map. Blackstar going to the center there. And Tid, yeah, not able to really get this into his base on time. You have to really be spot on with herding, especially in high level games like this. You know that this will come into play later on. So that's the moment that you're either gonna be making less units, or you're gonna be pressured for the hunt and not be able to make any units at all. We see Tid having 760 coins stacked here, not being able to make use of that. I liked how Blackstar played it. It was a little bit close there because Tid had a very nice Hussar switch to kind of deal with Blackstar's early skirm play. And he almost made it work, but we saw that the micro by Blackstar was a little bit better there. Pulling down nicely, making small groups of skirms. Also, by the way, by pulling down or pulling back actually, you will be able to kind of get a better let's say you actually prevent your opponent to have the best arc with their Hussars, the best service area with their Hussars, because their Hussars will have to run behind your skirms running back, and that means that you have to kind of retest the Hussars, otherwise they're going to be more or less in let's say, a straight line bumping into each other. So he did a really good job making sure that Tid had to micro more, and that's of course, you only have so much APM left. So 2-0 for Blackstar here in this best of 7. Regarding resources, we see that this 170 wood is a big difference. Then again, I also like the 14 Vil 8 job, and this will show in the resource tab here. This is the 170 wood difference, and because you get your bank faster, your XP faster, your age up faster, your next banks faster, etc., he will just be ahead from there on. And here we see the lines deviating from each other, where Blackstar did a bit better with the herding, and Tid was then pressured in his base by the skirms as well. Military unit count, Tid had quite a good trade here, as you see, but Blackstar was able to reinforce on time, and Tid couldn't really press the advantage that he had for a moment there. So, third game is going to be on Tibet. Oh wait, I think that was vetoed. Iowa, perhaps? Iowa or Herald Island? But you see that, like, the quite standard thing here to go for the skirm Reuter is what Blackstar was expecting. And also... Okay, I'll save the Rex quickly. My games. Yeah, it's better if they save them, so... I believe if I save the recorded games, that means that you get my point of view, which is just the observer point of view, and that's of course not what you want. You want to have either Blackstars or Tid's point of view in this game. Yeah, I didn't invite Tid because I only have to give one guy the map, so nothing there. But anyway, so, man, what's going on? The next map is going to be... we have Jebel Musa. I'll probably have to give another map later on, but never mind. It's not capital sensitive, right? Is my list full? Oh, I was about to say something about the matchup. Oh yeah. Tit was going for the standard, one Rex, one stable, and Blackstar, kind of knowing, I think that was the standard, decided to go for, let's say, a different meta. So he went for two Rexes, and also the thing is that Blackstar was really not just only guessing it, like in anticipation of what he could do. He was really scouting it to confirm it, and that's what I like a lot as well. You also saw Tit scouting, but he wasn't really able to figure it out right away because he only saw that there was no building at Blackstar's town center, but he didn't really know what was coming on the sides. So Blackstar going for that surprise to Rex thing, and just barely having enough Reuters to kind of save him, like not losing to first all the SARs. Of course, if you only go for two Rexes, you will be smashed by the SARs, but he was able to micro his way out with a little bit of Reuter help that he had. It makes you wonder, like what we talked about yesterday in the match versus LordRaphael versus Stanley, if you go for, let's say, a different meta where you go for like Hussar Reuter, you can even go for it blindly and kind of adapt and change with Madman, or for example change your third age shipment. Suppose Tit would have gone for, let's say, double stable. Then he would have straight won if he made 5 Hussars and 5 Reuter, I think. But even if he would be facing, let's say, Skirm Reuter, he could still buy himself some time. He could still ship some Hussars himself or some Skirms, whatever he needed. So he has no hand on left side here. Tit has, will be less shrines. So we have to restart this. Maybe someone can confirm in the chat, is that normal, one cherry orchard? No, Tit can. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't prepare for your tournament matchup. Of course, it's a little bit of a weird thing here because usually you get 2 cherry orchards and not one. So he was probably just expecting to. Only Adirondax, I think, has 1 cherry orchard as well. But it seems that Tit is agreeing with it, so that means I'm fine with them rehosting this and Bexel changing civilization.
Yes.
Okay, he agrees. That means we can we can go into the third game. It's 2-0 for Blackstar. I'll finish my train of thoughts of the previous matchup later, I think. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that if you can surprise your opponent in the way with the Hussar Warrior switch, it could do really good, similar to the thing where versus German, you kind of surprise them with the mass skirms that Germany tends to make versus Dutch. Anyway, we haven't seen that, but it's always interesting to kind of theorize these new meta changes and how you can kind of try to play differently to get an edge there, especially if it leaves you open for, like, it doesn't leave you vulnerable, same as what we saw with Blackstar. He did add the stable. He knew that he doesn't need the stable right away. He knew he would be fine only, of course, if it would make, like, let's say 10 Hussars straight away, but because he had his envoy in the base, he knew he would be fine straight away, so he only expected the Huss switch later on, and by that time he already had his own stable added. So really good anticipation moves, like think about what you can expect and especially about what time you need what and how long you can push. It comes really tight. It's not easy, of course, but he was able to poke in with the skirms and do the damage before there could be any danger to his army. So, third game. We have a Portuguese versus India matchup here. Let me quickly check. Yeah, Hans is 1-2. 1-2. 1-2, 1-2. Looks good. So, India versus Portuguese. I think we haven't seen this matchup before. I'm actually quite curious to see what will happen here. I know that Blackstar really likes his Portuguese. It's of course a very good civilization. With the changes in this patch, you have cheaper vills. You have the second TC. You can boom. You can turtle. You have colonial militia available. You can perhaps even go for ATP in the mid phase of this game. What was the great start? Unit ticker. 1 wood. So it's one. Oh, okay, so it was only food crates. Okay, so that's the most ideal actually. For Roby, that is. For Tit, he would have liked to see another wood crate, I'm sure. He's going to get himself 60 food, and in the meantime, they only had some small coin treasures. Oh wait, he has a native scout. That's nice. He picked up a native scout. Of course, that's something that you can use to scout the map, but also put in stealth later on. And I haven't seen it enough. I think we've seen it from, what was it again? Raphael yesterday with France. He really made good use of his scout. He was able to find out when the Udans were coming from Stanley, and not only when, but also where they were going, like which direction they were going, so you can anticipate the raid coming in. So I really urge you to use the scout way more than most people do here. It's really such a useful thing. Like, information is knowing, and knowing is winning half the battle. I think some general said that once in his life. So 80 foot on the floor here for looks like Blackstar is gonna pick this up. Blackstar also found 60 wood. That's really nice. And the Indian player is gonna get himself a 90 coin treasure. Nice, of course, that he positioned the elephant like this, so he will attack both wolves or coyotes, wolves at the same time. There's 80 XP left. Oh, we're gonna have a treasure contest here. Who will have it? Okay, what Tit is gonna do, he's gonna attack the hero of Blackstar, hoping that he can stomp it, but he will. No need. We saw that yesterday, the hero stomping the other hero, which means that it kind of, stops the animation of picking up the treasure, which means that you have then 1 or 2 seconds, 1 second or so, to pick up the treasure yourself. Wasn't needed. He was fast enough to take the treasure before Blackstar could. And we have a Agra fort with 4 villagers. Wow, he really wants to. Oh, but Blackstar's gonna scout it right away. Wow. Well, he will not scout the fort, but he will scout 4 villagers. What an interesting way of scouting, because usually. Oh well, I know actually why he scouted that way, because he's blocking the fort even. He won't get it down. Tit won't get it down. Okay, we'll now put it down with this one village and then get the other villages back, I think. Or won't he? Yeah, no, okay. Whoa, he puts it down in this tight spot. But first of all, why is Blackstar going to the left, not to the center? That's quite easy to answer, because if you look at my screen here, you can't place the Agra fort here. So he is expecting an Agra fort, which means that it's going to be either left or right. And maybe because he was attacking the scout of Tit, and Tit's scout was going to the right, kind of distracting the hero from Blackstar to the left. Blackstar might be guessing that the fort would be on the left, I'm not sure. Or he was just going for a blind guess and checking either side. He knows, of course, the timing. So if there's no fort or villages on the left side, he could still go to the right side afterwards and scout if there's an aggro fort there. But he did a good job here by idling Tit for a little bit. There's 4 villagers who were first of all walking all the way here. Not only that, he was able to block the fort, which means that it had to be put down again later on, further delaying the age up by, let's say, 10 more seconds or so. Tit is gonna have 2 dogs, and we see that Blackstar is going to ship Colonial Militia with a Rex start. Like, you know what's coming up here. Oh wait, this is TC, not a Rex start, but I assume there's gonna be a Rex, yes. Just already ahead of myself. Anyway, very fortified base. 2 Cs in range of each other. Colonial Militia to defend the Sepoy, and a Rex start for some additional musk. And look at this, by the way. Tit is aging with 5 minutes 4:57. He's gonna get this herd in, and yeah, there's a 2 Sepoy from the age up. Meanwhile, Blackstar took a trading post for himself. These 2 dogs will do nicely, as well as, of course, the elephant HP. But I think that Blackstar already scouting this is doing the exact counter build. Like, Tit has no idea what's going on yet. He must assume that Blackstar is going for a Rex because he scouted the aggro fort. Will we see a second Rex? That's the question. If we see a second Rex, it's going to completely shut down the aggro fort, I would say. On the other hand, it might be a stable just because he's kind of expecting Tit to later switch into Gurkha because he knows or anticipates a Rex. So he might be going for, let's say, Musk Huss with 8 crossbowmen timing. We'll have to see about that. First of all, 5 Sepoy from Tit. 1 Sepoy is already going down to the town center fire, and that's where the Minutemen or the CEM card is kicking in. They will 2-shot a Sepoy if there's enough villagers in it. Only 3 musk. Maybe he's just going for a raid, thinking that he's fine anyway with the double town centers. And there's the second Rex coming up, which means that Tit can still switch into Gurkha later on after the initial Sepoy push. However, of course, Blackstar can also then ship 700 coin and defend with the TCs and age up and get cash stores himself. 1 village going down. But Minutemen and TC fire, 1 TC fire actually only, and 3 musketeers. I'm not sure if this is the most effective Minutemen from Blackstar here. A little bit surprised there because there's way too many Sepoys. Only 1 town center still shooting, and he is of course idling Blackstar, but in return he's losing quite a bit of Sepoy. Another one going down, and there you see what I mean with 2-shotting the Sepoy. What I really like here, this is a small detail, but it's actually an interesting thing. Blackstar puts not every villager in there. He puts 108 damage, because 2 shots of 108 is enough to kill the Sepoy. I could in fact get away with 1 less, I think. Anyway, you don't need every villager in there, then the damage would be 135, but then you would overkill the Sepoy with 2 shots. So, only putting that number of villagers in there is enough. And now he's going for bows, which of course can be used. 8 crossbowmen as well, so he can abuse his range versus the Sepoy. He might lose this house. I think he's gonna barely... Will he pull back? He will not pull back. He saves the house with 12 HP. He's gonna put 1 Sepoy in there, but I like that move of it. But then again, there were enough bows there to like take down the Sepoy with 1 volley. He actually wanted to sacrifice 1 Sepoy to kill that house. And now Tit is on the retreat, and Blackstar is in pursuit. But you see here, he's gonna pick up the Sepoys 1 by 1. Now gonna use the elephant to slow this down to save the Sepoys. Nice stomp there, getting a bit of damage on by a lot of these bows, but a lot of Sepoys went down there, so this rush is shut down. And oh wait, I like this. Good move there. He's going in with the elephant to take down the last house, and now immediately saving the elephant going back. Small things, but they do matter in these kind of games. So what's happening in his base here? Wow, Tit is aging up. I totally missed that. Was so focused on the front fight. He is shipping 600 coin. That is interesting. So what you have here is a very low eco Tit India. Of course, Blackstar was pressured. You see the economic unit population that Blackstar has only 28 versus 27 vills. However, I say low eco because Blackstar does have a TP. He does have 2 villages which can boom from now on because he knows he's safe. And Tit has not shipped the wood trickle, nor the 600 wood. Nor 3 element export from the consulate to get the consulate vill. So his eco is quite low and won't be going up as fast. But he's going for a surprise age up Perhaps he's thinking that he needs the Mahout to deal with these crossbows. Blackstar is not making more crossbows. He's shipping 700 coins, so that indicates to me he's probably going to age up. And he's still running around the map with his crossbows to find some damage, and damage he gets. The elephant is going to be used again to perhaps stomp these crossbowmen at least to hold them off to save with the sepoy. We have a crossbow raid coming in. How many times do we see a crossbow raid in a tournament game like this? Picking off one villager, idling the rest, and also, very importantly, he scouts the wonder. I think that's even more important because he was kind of figuring out like what is Tit doing. His rush stopped. I don't see any more units. I have to figure it out. And now he can even corner the sepoy with the crossbows. Sepoy is going down left and right. Might kill a Vil. Nice. Yeah, he will go for one Vil there as you see. And the other ones nicely tossed here. These on the Vils. He makes sure he gets the Vil down. And these were tossed on the sepoy because he has time anyway. He can take a couple of shots, but he has to make sure that he one-shots the Vils because they were running towards the town center. And now we see 32 with the 2 town centers versus 26 population. Market coming up finally to get a little bit of economy back, but he's really in a tough spot, so I'm curious to see what he will do. It's not going to be the Mahout age up, by the way, it's going to be the tower age up, which actually in a way makes sense. Like the crossbowmen, of course the Mahout is nicely, but then again Portuguese is going to have goons and stuff, so you probably want to have your wood actually that comes from the tower. So you can catch up as you see here with the market, the consulate, some houses and a second Rex on that side. This TC will get scouted because it's coming really close by the elephant. So even though the elephant is dead, I think he should be able to scout it. Very nice placement here. He's going to secure himself 2 herds and a mine there. He has one more mine now on that side, but... Another crossbow raid coming in, killing one more villager. He has no answer to this yet. He lost all his sepoys and the rest of his sepoys are here, but they're so far away. He's now calling Minutemen because he doesn't want to get idle so long, but it is really, like Blackstar really made the most use of these expos that I've seen in a very long time. Good job there. Tit still has his native scout here in stealth mode. He used that to revive his hero. He's not really scouting with it though, and he also is not taking the TP. I think he's finally moving there, but now you see the big Cassador mess. Roby shipped 8 Cassadors. He also made them from the 2 Rexes that he had stable on the way to deal with any possible cap switch. But all the time that the sepoys were just waiting here, actually Tit could have just sieged down a trading post. He's gonna do that now. With Blackstar, he has found the herd on the left side, so he knew that Tit was gathering there, because he scouted this part of the map, so he sees the dead animals. And he's nicely picking off small victories there. He's nicely picking off one villager on that side. He's gonna take... he's not finishing the TP. I actually would have liked him to finish the TP. And the crossbows are still not dealt with. So he's still going in, finding villagers. You won't know, but just poking in. And now Blackstar will go to the center of the map to defend versus any possible re-sieging from sepoys. Meanwhile, going there on the map to get some herds towards his town center. This villager is going to find it, but then again, sorry, villager, this scout, but it's going to walk too close to the town center, which means that it will be revealed by the town center see stealth function. The elephant is going to scout the castles in the center, but I'm not sure what he wants with that right now. Okay, he's shipping siege elephants. That's interesting. They will deal with these crossbows, of course. So he's going siege elephant sepoy heavy. The thing is that, of course, you can siege down a town center with it, but then again, the Cassadors can just use their range and like kite. Well, not kite the siege elephant, but that they don't really care. There's not like a cannon, so they can still go in range and they can just kite the whole sepoy mess. So if Tit has no Yurumis or no Cav, it's going to be really tough for him to deal with this Cassador mess. He has a lot of hills on food, so he might be going for Yurumis after, but shipping... Oh, he's adding a stable as well. But shipping the siege elephant usually means that you want to go push on the map, but he scouted the Cassadors with his elephants, so he kind of knew that he actually would need to deal with the Cassadors first. And this is why you see why going full musk, like full sepoy, full Ashigaru is just not working for people who can micro decently. You will never be able to get in range. You need your skirms yourself. Blackstar wasn't doing a nice job kiting back. As soon as the Tit was coming in with his sepoys, Blackstar was going back. You will see this again. Not staying in range of the sepoy, only shooting from the range advantage that the castors have. 20 versus just 12. The elephants will do some damage, but as I said, this is not a cannon, it's only a siege elephant, so the damage to buildings is huge, but that's what they're made for, or taking down other cannons. But the damage towards units is just not that much. Actually, just as much as Neighbor's gun, 40 siege damage. So yeah, Tit has to really get his cavalry or Yurumis in, I feel, to deal with this caster mass from Blackstar. Okay, he's going for the petard. So he's gonna take down one TC with petards if Blackstar is not responding on time. Of course, he used a Minuteman from this TC already, so he does have some Castadors though. Will the Castadors plus the TC fire will they be able to take down the petards? It looks like he's not looking. He's not looking, so he will lose one TC. Yes, one TC. It comes really close. I believe you need all these petards to kill the TC. So if he would have used the Castadors to work on the petards and one TC also to pick on the petards, he would be able to save the TC just because petards won't kill it. Anyway, he's luring the army from Blackstar a little bit out of the way here. The goons chasing the sepoys, and the Castadors are kind of idle in the middle. So in the meantime, he's going on the right side here to get a raid down, killing some villages. The elephant's working on the TC, so actually Tit is doing a really good job here, kind of pulling Blackstar in different sides. He took down one TC, he won't be able to take down the second TC yet, it looks like, because Minutemen are called, and like I said, the Castadors kind of counter this whole composition here, so he can't really engage this at this moment. There's one Mahout here, he made that from the stable, I guess. Maybe he wants to go for a surprise, but look at this. Blackstar is nicely cornering this. He knows if he goes to the bottom there that he will cut off the army from Tit. If he won't find the army of Tit, he knows the army of Tit will be going upwards or to the right, and that's why he goes there with the second group. So here we see cornering the army of Tit, and very unfortunate but really good move by Blackstar. Tit is gonna lose everything here. And yeah, that means he's gonna be in a really tough spot. Look at this. 56 villages versus 35, 80 army count versus 13. I'm not sure what Tit will do here. It has to be like some surprise Mahout pop under his TC. But even then, this is Blackstar we see, guys. This is typical Roby. He is gonna make a duck. He knows he has kind of won this game, so he's just gonna make a duck and troll a little bit. He's gonna make a monitor here to take down this TC or whatever units Tit has. That means that he should not go in too fast here. Otherwise, he won't be able to make use of his monitor if he is gonna own Tit. Oh, look at this! 3 more Mahouts. But there's so many goons with cavalry combat already, because Roby knows like what can I lose to? Either gonna be a Yorumi switch or it's gonna be a Mahout pop, and he's ready for both, I would say, with this vast amount of units. The Mahout's not coming in from the best angle. You see 2 of them already going down to the goons, and Tit is resigning here. His rush got shut down. We didn't get to see any monitors, unfortunately. We'll have to save that for you guys for another day. But yeah, Blackstar responded correctly. I like the move with the petards. Blackstar wasn't expecting that, but then again, at that time he was already ahead enough that it really didn't matter that much. A rush by Tit, delayed, low eco. Portuguese eco is fine with 2 TCs, shut down by the Minutemen by the Rex, and then the 10 crossbows. Some nice moves trying to get the last house down with the elephant, but then again losing a lot of sepoys in the process. Very nice expo rates in the back, and yeah, Blackstar is now up. Look at this, by the way, the fill count and there the economic difference. Like, Tit probably felt I couldn't play catch up, like I couldn't go into an economic game sending 600 wood or the trickle. I had to make something happen, So that's why he chose to go for a risky age up, low eco, but then maybe do something. However, the 2 siege elephants were actually kind of shot down by the big Castador count for Blackstar, which is something you do like versus India in the 3rd age, obviously, and then you add your goons to be sure you won't lose to any Mahout stuff. So if Tit had more economy, then he might be able to, for example, match the caster count with Gurkhas, and maybe go for, let's say, some Yurumis to snare them. But he wasn't able to really catch up in the army count, and that's why he was behind. He shipped the elephants, but was not able to make them work enough. Next map is going to be Jebel Musa.
Yes.
Let me just add it in.
Yes.
Okay, Blackstar up 3-0 in his best of 7, so he's on match point. And now Tit has to. Wait, we had. Roby chose Dutch before, so Tit chose India, Roby chose Port. So Roby has to choose first.
Yes.
Yes, frozen. Yeah, there's water on the edges, but it's not like you can fish there, I think. Damn, what's this preparation, man? Okay, so he locks in Germany.
Yes.
So, what will Tit use to counter this? Russia. I see. Okay, good luck. Russia versus Germany. Yeah, I think this is going to be really tough. There's TPs on this map, so Germany will go for a TP either from the start or during the age up. And well, Germany is kind of favored, I'd say, versus Russia. We have seen a very interesting game of Savior Skill versus Knuscherbear. Same matchup previously in the round of 16, where Russia was kind of able to. Actually, I felt Russia had it, but then made a few mistakes. But it was really a close game, and it went quite a bit in H2 before the German guy was able to age up. It wasn't Tassili though, and on this map you do have more resource than on Tassili. Although we will have a rehost here. Tit has not enough herds. But what I was saying is that it's going to be really tough because you have the Ulan's raiding. You can have the 8 crossbow shipment dealing with your musks. You have, of course, the option to even start with the Rex. Like most people start with the stable, but I liked what Kunishba did. It's why would you not start with the Rex versus ships that go heavy on infantry like India and Russia? So I think Blackstar might go for that as well, unless he feels confident just using his Minutemen, Ulan Micro, and 8 crossbows to hold it off. We'll see. And Tit is, as Russia, probably just going for aggression early on and trying to take the map, control the map. Probably not going for an age up, but just going heavy colonial. What's happening here? The top guy here is always missing a herd. You see Blackstar has like 3-4 herds. Tit has one only really far, so better to just rehost it. Blackstar is on match point, so if he wins this, he wins the series. So Tit really has to start his comeback right here, right now. UI done by Azemk, I see there. Thanks again, Ace, for your great UI. UI gives us a lot of information while casting, so we are able to focus more on other details and not figuring out whatever the guys have sent, shipped, tagged, queued, lost, or whatever. So big thanks again for that. Yeah, I think this is... Again, it's 3 versus 2 Hans. Although he can hurt this one, 2. Oh wait, he has 1 second next to his base, so yeah, this is fine. This is his second hunt. Third, yeah, this is good to go. Oh, this map is bright, man. Okay. So Germany versus Russia. It was a 100 wood start. Yeah, he's going for the market. Yeah, 100 coin start, 100 wood start. So he's going for the market, otherwise he would go for the TP as Germany. I really like that both of them are going to the right side of this map, indicating to me that they have at least done their homework about where the best treasures are. They are kind of in this area here. Although 40 XP is not the most helpful. I should actually expand my area like this. So this is where the best treasures are, plus this route. Because you see there 100 wood, which will be a really nice pickup for either player. 160 XP, nice as well. These are kind of the big treasures you can expect. Both of them are going to find like small treasures first for the XP, for the food. Yeah. I have to recheck this again. I thought that usually one of these treasures is a little bit on let's say this stroke rather than this stroke. And funnily enough, both of them are going. I like this lot. They go like this. So they exactly scout the path that they should scout here. Tit is gonna find 160 XP first, and Blackstar is going upwards. Will Tit take the risk and go for it, kind of knowing that your opponent might coming right behind you? He won't. He will scout first. Of course, keep in mind there is also usually another good treasure, so meaning that if you have scout this first, you can still go for the other treasure in case your opponent does go for this one. You can always return, as we've seen yesterday also with the Raphael versus Stanley Winston match, where you see that one player kind of scouted it, let the other player start it, and then comes in back to try to steal it, which can sometimes work even better than you just taking it up yourself. Tit is going to find himself 80 XP. I think he's going to work on it. Yes, he will. And the question is now, Blackstar finding this treasure, almost. What's this? It's not a cliff, right? Just shadows or something. He's not going for it. So 2 big treasures still left on the floor, but of course neither of these players knows about 100 wood there. So unit ticker, we don't need that anymore. What's this actually? That's a settler. What's this? Azem, did you put in some sneaky stat that I don't know about? Text completed. Yeah, hunting dogs, of course. He did the market first. You only do the hunting dogs. I mean the market if you want to do hunting dogs, otherwise it doesn't make that much sense. Immediately going for the 3rd hunt, herding it. Tit's 2nd hunt ran away a little bit, but I expect that after he aged up he will go for this as well. And then he probably has to work on either this one or this musk ox here. Both of them have now found the 100 wood as well, and you have to keep in mind, actually it's better for Tit to wait for these treasures, like not risk picking them up and losing them, because while Blackstar of course will have 2 Ulan to work on the treasure, Tit will have his 5 Cossacks shipped from the blockhouse, so he can actually with 5 Musk, 5 Cossacks and his hero take both of these treasures really easy. We see the hero here for Blackstar. Is Tit expecting this? It looks like he will. Blackstar's going for a TP, there you go. Tit scouting it immediately. Will he? Or... Wait, where are you going? Come back! Come back! Okay, never mind. He doesn't hear me. I actually thought that he was anticipating Blackstar to go for a TP. But upon scouting the TP, he's not really... Like, he can get free damage off on the hero. On Mr. Oops, there. Instead, he goes for some scouting, but he doesn't really like scout anything yet. I don't know what this is. Roby going back, probably thinking that Tit might steal the 100 wood treasure, and of course he doesn't want to have that. Roby has more HP, and Tit does not got a snare. I would have snared him, just expecting your Cossacks to come out like soon afterward. We see that Tit is gonna make his blockhouse on the left side very aggressive, securing this hunt. Of course, that's what Roby is gonna scout for. He's probably expecting it in the center here. That's why Tit is gonna make it here to have a little bit of a surprise. We have here still the monument, by the way, that Wicked pointed out yesterday, where we had a huge musketeer battle between Eric and Mido. Do check out those games, they were really, really interesting. Back to this one. The blockhouse is a little bit late. I'm surprised about that. It's probably because he did the market first. So he is actually not going like full aggression. And Roby hasn't found the blockhouse in the center, so now he's wondering like, what are you doing? Do you make a blockhouse at home? It's not really the best thing. Do you make a stable at home? Are you going to try to out-cav me perhaps? He's not finding any information, so I would like to see his 2 Ulans going to the left here, because that's the only part he hasn't scouted. We'll see what he's going to do with it. He's not so far, he's probably going back to the treasure, but this is what I said. Tit already starting the treasure, using his 5 Cossacks here, so he will be able to take this treasure before Blackstar gets to it. And Blackstar starting with 5 pikemen and the Rex first, so he's expecting the rush regardless, or a stable start perhaps. So, and of course the 5 Cossacks, so he's making pike and then probably gonna make crossbows. But Tit is gonna get snared here. Will he save his Cossacks? He will lose 1 straight away. He gets snared by the hero as well. But then again, they must come in, and that's time for Blackstar to run back. He can of course trade, but it won't be the most effective trade here. You see that this hero was in melee mode just to try to snare the pikeman from Blackstar, but wasn't succeeding. We have Tit bringing in his next hunt. He has to be really on top with herding here, because it's Germany and it's Roby, which means there can be a lot of 2 Ulan raids coming in. Roby not paying attention here to the forward villagers. He might lose 1. He's gonna lose 1 villager, and the musketeers will be on the pikemen, but there's just not enough musketeers here, I feel, because there's crossbowmen out as well. He has 7 crossbows, so he made them, not shipment yet. Of course, I can see that here. Anyway, the pikemen, there's still 4 pikemen left, and the Cossacks will get... And there's 8 crossbowmen, so it's really gonna be a good timing for Blackstar. Immediately trying to snare it, and I feel that Tit overstayed his welcome here. He was a little bit too greedy. Like, you can't trade with just 5 musk with the crossbowmen and the TC fire when you still have to kill 4 pikemen. He's now gonna lose all his army, and I fully expect Blackstar to have 5 more pikemen on the way, because he has enough bows, so he wants the siege potential, I guess. Nice job by Tit here on the right side, picking off an Ulan there. But now he used both his shipments, both his cavalry shipments, and he traded not the most effective, which means that Roby has free reign with his crossbows here to kill any musketeers that's coming out. So musketeer is probably going to be cancelled, but if there's going to be Strelit, then the Ulans can still snare them and kill them. and the crossbowmen are still in good numbers to deal with any 10 strelets as well, which means it kind of forfeiting this blockhouse. So as you see, Tit is going to put down a new Rex here. And there you have the 5 pike as expected. Good switch there. As I said, enough crossbowmen, so you just want to have enough siege potential in your army, or make sure that you don't die to a possible Cossack switch. So pikeman it is. 700 coin, which means he's probably going for an age up after this. He can do a little bit of damage, see what he can get done, maybe kill something, and if he can't kill something, he can just go back and he will be an age ahead, plus the TP of course. He has a few Ulans going to the right side here, trying to get in a raid I think. I like that he's going for a house rather than a blockhouse. You know that this is going to be like almost for sure going to be a sure kill, while the blockhouse will only be damaged. Nice musketeer, Minuteman, Strelet coming in from all angles with 30 Strelet shipment, and he made a few Cossacks. Oh no, there's for the Cossacks left. Anyway, he's going to clean this up pretty well. It's probably the best trade he could have hoped for. The musketeers should really be focusing down the Ulans, which they are not, which means that the Ulans will get very good damage on the Strelets here, while the crossbows are really nicely focused on the musketeers there. Finally he takes down the Ulans. Hero coming in to tank a little bit more, but Blackstar is probably gonna trade a little bit for the musketeers there, and then go back, yes, as we see here. But in the meantime, Blackstar is aging up, as you can see at the left top. And actually those were not made Cossacks, they were still left alive from the 4 Cossack shipment. But yes, he traded decently, and that's fine for him. Like any unit that he trades with his weak H2 units means that the Russian guy can't really get a good mess to go for timing when Roby is aging up, which means that he's fine making his skirm Ulan composition versus Russia in H2. 700 food from Russia. He really has to get his mess rolling, so that's a very logical choice there. Blackstar still trying to poke a little bit with the crossbows there. Doing as much damage as he can, even like 2 shots. I mean, it's just more like a tickle than a damage. But anyway, he gets maybe one more Strelet if he focuses. Yeah, he does. The hero on the Strelet crossbows as well. So he has a stable up by now. He skipped the 700 wood. I think that's actually a good choice. Because if you go 700 wood and then 700 gold, you kind of give the Russian player some more time to get back into the game. So I think it's wise of him to just gather wood and maybe buy wood once or twice with the market's also fine, and just rely on your early H3 pressure with the TP that you have, and now of course the ability to make whatever is needed. There we have 8 skirms, probably some more Ulans on the way with this, and that will mean go time for him. This treasure is never picked up, of course. We had a little bit of a contest for the 100 wood, and after that it was really back and forth fighting, so no player was really able to get to that. We have a run around there, that's also nice, with the cliffs here making up for different pathing. Oh, we have actually war wagons on the way. Okay. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff from Germany here. War wagons taking down the Cossacks, no problem in the skirm, dealing with the musketeers here. Nice snaring by the Ulans, with the Ulans, making sure that Tit really can't run away, so that the skirms in the back can deal the damage as well. Even some villagers being brought in here. And yeah, he's gonna clean this up. And Tit didn't take the best fight there. I think it would have been better for him if he just waited. And why is this not going to the right automatically? Actually, I think it would have been better for him if he just waited and tried to overwhelm, like, with a huge mass. But then again, the longer you wait, the more shipments the German guy will bring in, and it's not going to make it easier. So Blackstar is probably going to wait for his second shipment. I guess it's going to be 9 Ulans. And then there we have it, 9 Ulans, just to make sure that he can deal better with Cossacks and Strelets. Because he has enough to deal with musketeers. The skirms will do that, the warwagon will do that, so the logical choice is to make Ulans, which means that the most logical choice for Tit is probably to be very aggressive on the Cossack count, like 5-5 if you can. But then again, he still has to deal with the warwagons as well, so it's really a tough spot here. Like, Strelets will be annihilated, to put it like this, since Roby is playing, by Ulans, and musketeers will be killed by skirms. He's gonna pick off a few villages there. Tit, of course, trying to run them away. I mean, they're dead anyway, so you might as well buy yourself some time. He ships 700 coin to get his mask. Oh wait, he's gonna age up. He is gonna age up. I think he needs to put down a second blockhouse if he wants to survive the age up. Wow, for some reason there are so many villages there. Instead of, for example, this mine. But anyway, he's gonna age up. He thinks that's gonna be his best choice. Like, it's gonna be really hard to make something happen in the second age. I have to agree with that. But yeah, you have to make some. You have to make a choice. You have to take some risk at this point, and you see that the blockhouse is going down really, really fast. Even some more war wagons, as kind of what I said, anticipation of him, Blackstar, knowing that Tit has to make more Cossacks to counter this army. So what do? You make more war wagons. Udens are not upgraded yet though, but the question is, does it matter? Tit, what will he do? He is aging up, but now that he's aged up, what then? He has a shipment, almost. I mean, he uses Madman already. He's gonna use his villagers right now. And yeah, there we have it. GG. Congrats to Roby. He will take this. Oh, I forgot to update the score before, but it's a 4-0. Oh, I can't do it anymore now. Roby takes this 4-0 sweep over Tit. Probably expected. It's like I said, it's a really tough matchup for Germany, for Russia here, on a map like this. So, but then again, it was the 4th game, so Tit couldn't play India anymore. He couldn't play Brits. He couldn't play Dutch. So these are kind of the civs that he plays most. So yeah, that's it. There's going to be another match later on today. It's going to be Knutschebar versus Kaiserklein. And we have no other match for now. I think I'm just going to go outside as it looks quite sunny here. So thank you for watching. Might have been a little bit early for some of you, especially from America. And yeah, later today you can check in for the last match of the round of 8. And then next weekend we will have, of course, the semi-finals and then the finals the weekend after. So a lot of good games coming up. And here you see, by the way, how... Wait. Oh, this was the first fight, very unfavorable for Tit. Fighting, that is actually so huge. Like, as Russia, you want to pressure, but you can't commit to a fight like this and losing so much. Because this basically means that you lose all your pressure for the second fight. Which, look at this, this could have been like an army counter somewhere here. Which means that you can fight way more effective versus a crossbow scrum composition especially. And if you lose your pressure here, you just give the German guy an easy way of aging up to the 3rd age. And there you see, not the best fight for Blackstar, but he just wanted to trade actually here, and like he killed the blockhouse, he killed the house, and he just pushed it back, and that's all you want to do. So that was fine. Okay, so that's it. I'm going offline. And see you guys another day. Bye bye.